This is Damon L. Jacobs with David Gregory from One Life to Live. How are you, man?
I'm good. It's good to be here.
I'm so glad to see you at this event.
Me too. I was here last year.
I know.
And I love doing this. And I'm actually going to walk in the AIDS Walk this year. And I've hosted two separate events this year for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. So this is something that's becoming, ever since I moved to New York, closer to my heart. And it's nice to just jump in. Not that it wasn't a big deal before, but there's just more opportunities to do things now that I'm here. New York is full of opportunities for things like that. So
it is. You know what? One of my jobs, aside from covering SOAPS, is doing outreach for HIV vaccine trials.
Fantastic.
And I talk to a lot of younger people who often don't really think that HIV is something that's relevant to their lives, or don't think that this is an urgent cause. Yep. What might you say to someone in their 20s who just sort of that AIDS thing was over, that was another time?
Well, unfortunately, for a lot of people, it doesn't become a big deal until you meet someone or know someone. And I grew up as a kid in Alaska, and a good family friend of ours was HIV positive. So it doesn't become relevant until you have something to connect it to. But for those out there, I would say if there's anybody you see here tonight in any of these interviews, or someone that you relate to, on a broader spectrum, someone that you see in the public eye a lot, if it's something that's close to them, then there must be a good reason for it. And if you relate to that person in any way, then try to figure out why it's important to them. Right. Because I feel like this is something that cannot be ignored, and it's not something that goes away with time. There were scares in the 80s and the early 90s, and this is something that is still prevalent today, and in all cultures as well. So it's something that I feel should be, there are many causes like that, but this is something that I feel like once you get involved, once you get, it becomes even more important. So
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Thank you for saying that.
Absolutely.
It's so true.
Absolutely.
On One Life to Live, Ford has been up to a lot of things recently. He's been dealing with tests. We're sort of almost feeling sorry for him at this point.
Yeah, he's had a big turnaround, I feel like. I know a lot of people aren't sure if it's real or not, but I think that once he saw this child that actually is his, the tables have turned, and everything's different for him because he had such a bad upbringing himself.
Yeah.
I think it really takes a special kind of person to want to turn that around for the next generation, and I admire that, and I think he's genuinely a different person. He just has to go through the ringer to do it. I think he's been through so much lately, and
that's his redemption, right?
Oh man!
What can you preview for us about what's coming up this summer for Ford? What can you tell us?
It's a soap. There might be some falling in love going on.
Wow.
I feel like this has been easy for Ford in the past, but that's just been his way of falling in love, which may not actually be love. And now we might actually see some genuine concern, genuine feelings there. I wish I could tell you so much, the things I could say. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great summer.
I'm glad. Unfortunately, this is gonna be the last year that we're gonna have Ford and the residents of Landview. Any thoughts about what you would like to see happen for you in your career after January?
Wow. Well, I'd love to. I love my job, and I think I've been blessed to be working in the last soap in New York City, a steady job, and I love doing what I do, and not many actors can say that. Bottom line is, I would love to keep acting. I have fallen in love with the film and television genre. I wouldn't mind going back to stage. That's where I started, but I definitely have fallen in love with that, and working on a feature film right now, and would love to just keep adding things to the resume, and just keep being that working actor. I know that sounds very basic, but that's gold here in New York City, So
right.
I'm a blessed man, that's for sure.
That's right. David Gregory, thank you so much for talking with us. Thank you so much for being here and being so outspoken about such a necessary cause. It's not over, and having you stand up and say that is something I think that's going to help a lot of people. Thank you so much. I'm here at Love Out Loud
What does the L
with the
stand
beautiful
for?
Ilene Kristen. It actually stands for Lance,
Oh,
but it stands for lucky to be with the lovely Beautiful Ilene Kristen. I'm so
I'm
happy
lucky.
you're here.
I'm
You
lucky.
are the one who has been here. This is our 6th year that Giovanni's doing Love Out Loud. You have been here every year for this.
Absolutely.
Why is this cause important to you?
Well, first of all, I lost a lot of friends to AIDS. A lot. One of the first people to die was Tommy Smith, who was the stage manager of Grease. And then the stage manager, Larry Carpenter, had died. He was also the stage manager of Grease. And my friend Chris Adler. I could go on and on. My good friend Ross, my great friend Jeff. It just goes on and on and on. And I know a lot of people now who have are HIV positive, undetectable load,
Yes.
and are doing really great. So the more money we raise, better it is, really.
And your being here and getting the fans rallied and excited makes a big difference.
Well, I love them. I don't even think of them as fans anymore. They're friends.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss them a lot, but we'll still do events. We'll still. It's a very sad year.
It is a sad year. However, a lot of what we've seen here at We Love Soaps is that a lot of times a lot of actors and people find different ways to channel their talents. You've always channeled your talent in ways other than soaps. Your stage and what you performed here tonight and what you do here at the Triad
Right.
always entertains the masses.
Right. I know, but I waited a long time for a character like Roxy. I really did. It was what I envisioned and what I saw me wanting to do, and I've been so lucky to do it for 10 years, but I kind of wanted to have another 10 years.
I know.
I thought Roxy could grow old very gracefully, along with me. Of course, she's younger than I am. Yeah, she is. She's younger than
She
I am.
is?
I think so. But she doesn't do Bikram yoga, and I do. So that maybe that makes me older in chronological years, but younger in physical years because I don't drink.
There you go. Okay. I was just thinking, I was telling you that I was up the other night watching Ryan's Hope, seeing Delia get seriously busted for one of her lies. Just such compelling television all these years later.
There was always hell to pay for Delia. She knew that she would eventually get it, but she tried to pull it off as long and as hard as she could. And she did. She managed to fool people
For years.
a lot. Like when I was hysterically blind on it.
Yeah.
I pulled it off for a long time.
Yeah. I still remember the heart-shaped bed. Love that.
Oh my God, yes. It's fantastic.
So what are you going to be doing now for the next year after One Life to Live wraps? What are we going to be seeing from you? More theater, more performances? You have so many things you can do.
Anything that anybody hires me for, I will be doing. I say yes very easily. So Roger, you hear that? Okay. A little bit of money would be good, just to pay like my electric bill and everything. I just want to do something creative. I'm still doing my big gay Italian wedding, and maybe that'll continue through the summer because I really had a great, I've been having a great time doing that. Give me a wig, any wig, and, Next character I'm going to play is going to be a redhead, though.
Redhead. All right. Have you ever thought about doing a one-woman show where you're acting as well as singing and kind of telling the stories from your life or something like that?
Well, I do that in my club act.
Yeah.
I do that. But someone just sent me, this wonderful guy, Alan Altman, just sent me a DVD of my first appearance ever, professional appearance in the Bell Telephone Hour at 14 years old. And it really inspired me in a way because I saw at 14 that I was kind of like, without knowing what I was doing, I knew what I was doing. So it made me see that I just have to keep on expressing myself however I can, because I never thought that from this 14-year-old dancer that I would become like this comic actress. And that's the way I see myself, as a comic actress. So we'll see. But it's sad. It's sad.
You also have always been committed to helping others, and I've often wondered, have you ever thought about doing some kind of coaching or counseling or supporting people who?
Oh, I do coach.
Yeah.
I do coach, and my friend Susan Campachero Comfrey has an intensive weekend, and I teach
Good.
for her, and that's
Good.
That's been great.
Well, my friend Will Clark and I have a little game. When we're not sure what to do, we said, "What would Ilene Kristen do?" And then we're usually like, That gives us a good idea.
Wow. Well, then I'm gonna.
And we haven't gotten arrested
What
yet.
would Will and Damon do? I'm gonna have to, because believe me, every once in a while, I'm not sure what's coming next, and I go, and usually I go, all right, and I call it the big black lady in the sky. That's the way I see God. Is like, and she kind of feeds me support, and that's the way. And I say, so what do I do? And she goes, sit on your ass and be quiet. That's what I have to do sometimes. Sit on my ass and be quiet.
Well, I hope for our sake that you're never quiet for very long.
No.
You have so much to offer this world, and any production, theater, stage, television, movies, or indie soaps are so lucky to have you. You're so good at what you do. You also always have such a great attitude, and I always love that about you.
Thank you.
So,
Well, I suit up and show up.
yes, and you deliver.
Yeah.
For real.
But you don't see me before I come here. I can't figure out. The weather dictates a lot of what I suit up and show up in. It really does. There's like today was just a little bit colder than yesterday, so I had to put on pants. I had a beautiful outfit laid out for tonight. I mean, beautiful. And I have these blank me pumps on. And I really wanted to wear a short skirt, but I couldn't suit up in that because I was a little too chilly. So.
No.
But I'm here.
Here. Is there anything you
What
can?
am I wearing?
You look good. You always look so good.
This doesn't match.
Fabulous. Is there any?
Conflicting purples. But this ties it all together.
You can pull off anything, and that's one of the great things about being Ilene Kristen. You make it work.
Thank you.
Anything you could preview for us about One Life this summer? Anything coming up right for Roxy?
Yeah, there's something really sad coming up. One of the characters, something terrible happens to one of the characters, and I'm around for that. So.
Do you cause it?
No.
Okay.
No, I do not. But
It's
I'm
not
there
like
for it.
Roxy's hair curler explodes and
No.
somebody burns off all their hair or something like that?
No.
Okay.
But
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm glad that Roxy will be around. We're going to get to see more of her in Landview before it wraps up.
Yeah.
Ilene, you're so amazing.
So are you.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you for what you do.
We're trying. Thank you, everybody.